I have a special announcement from a special guest on the pod. Let's listen in.
It's hot and bothered with Melissa Ford. Who cares about the bitches I took this name from? I took it, bitch. My voice is louder. I can steal from smaller creators.
Ooh.
And pass it on.
Oh, that's fucked up. Don't do that. Come
Hey,
on.
I do that shit. Hey, them niggas with 7 views be cooking sometimes.
Give him. Let me
Hey, you gotta check the views. Nigga be like 25 views.
Oh.
Say, how long that was out? For months. Oh, what? Give me that thing.
The hotline, I made it a hot song, man.
Haven't we been saying that?
We've been saying that for like the last 2 years. Thank you, Joe. I actually respect you for admitting it, bro. But I tell you what, if you ain't gonna put us on your network, man, shout us out, bro. Shout us out.
Yo, Joe, you are 0 for 2 on shouting me out. And now I think you got one more time and I'm gonna feel disrespected. Maybe 2 more times.
Hey man, keep going though, because the only thing we got to do is just clip up us saying it first with the date, and then him saying it second with the date.
Look,
and we'll take off. So keep up the good work, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, I'm glad we could be your EP.
Look, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, talk about us. I wonder. Come on, Ice or Imani, y'all have to show that y'all play us in like pre-production meetings.
Joe said, "Hey, you made it a hot line. I made it a hot song. I can't even hate on that."
Yeah, and then he's still from Hove, so Hove might be listening to our pod too. We'll just take that. It is funny though, because Melissa Ford is in hot water. She canceled one of her podcasts. She's starting a new podcast before it took off
by herself.
So it was with her homegirl, and her homegirl split. Like they not even homies no more, according to both of them. And she changed her name to Hot and Bothered with Melissa Ford. Now, if you go on Spotify, Apple, you type in Hot and Bothered, 6 other podcasts come up. Now, the joke about that is one of the podcasts has like 20,000 followers and they went in. And so the debate now is, if it's out there, are you allowed to steal somebody's name? And, you know, a lot of people, my favorite line over the internet for the last 2 weeks, and we're going to get to where we've been for the last 2 weeks, but people have been talking about like, yo, in corporate world, this happens all the time, like stealing.
Yeah, I mean, it does, right? I mean, you know, the quote goes, you know, good artists borrow, great artists steal.
Facts.
There's a second part to that as well, but
nobody cares.
Nobody cares. So, you know, I mean, I get it. Like, I mean, everyone draws inspiration from somewhere. I mean, an original thought is kind of hard to do. Like, occasionally you have an epiphany, but most of the time you'll hear somewhere else, and then that'll influence the direction that you go. You know, even with this pod, I mean, we speak about, you know, pop culture and current events and how we see that as black men, you know, that are family men. So, you know, I'm pretty sure our point of view is what's unique, right? Like the response to the event isn't unique, but our point of view is unique. So I do think that if you intentionally take something and just be like, oh, I'm just gonna snuff you out. I mean, that is business. That is the corporate world. I mean, Google, Microsoft, all these companies, they do it all the time.
All the time.
But I think in the pod world, I think it's a lot more adversarial than what we anticipated. And I think it's gonna get even more adversarial because content is gonna become king, and having an interesting product, like that's the problem. Like a lot of people just aren't interesting.
Facts.
Like, so they can talk about it, but their point of view just isn't interesting. So, you know, people listen to Budden because he is interesting. And, you know, I think our audience is Venn diagram, or will Venn diagram. Obviously, Budden is the pod king. So he's way bigger than but it's one of those things, right? You know, like what Dion said about Colorado. Hey, we coming. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I think that becomes the problem, is that a lot of people like, yo, I can't even really like y'all shit. Yeah. Because if I like it, algorithm gonna recognize it and it's gonna push you. So I think a lot of our stuff do get viewed, and then I think it gets downvoted by people who actually like it, to be honest.
Oh, that's what I experienced the last 2 weeks, but we're gonna get there. I'm back. I don't want people to think that we've been missing.
No, we have been missing.
Because we've been ducking smoke. But you know what? It's always funny because morals in business, it's hard listening to people talk and they think that as they go up the corporate ladder, like it just gets, the morals get higher as well.
No, the morals get lower the higher you go. Like
it's just an interesting place to be. So when I saw Melissa took the name, I was like, oh, Hot and Bothered. That's been a phrase forever. Now, I do stand with the other pod. I don't know if it's true, Melissa, so I'm not going to say it. 2 things I agree with them. You can't steal their slogan. If you steal their name, you can't steal the slogan.
Can't
too.
steal the slogan. That is true.
That is OD.
Yeah. You can't steal the slogan.
You're like, God, at least it's like, what you doing? And then on top of that, I don't believe it's smart to talk shit on your way up. So I say that Melissa has a video. They posted a video of Melissa talking about like, yo, I'm bigger. I'm more known than them. Who cares? It's 6 other people.
Dang, she said that?
She was talking cash. So this cash that Joe was talking, Melissa spoke it up a little bit later in the pod, and she spoke about it later.
Is this the last pod?
Mm-hmm. It's the last one. And so it's funny because this pod, which is a LA pod, is 2 white people. They just sit in a couch, and they, of course, they had their white tears flowing.
Oh, of course.
But I'm with them. I'm with the smaller creators too.
Yeah, I mean, we're a smaller creator. And like I said, I mean, as a pod that is stolen from quite frequently by a much larger pod.
Absolutely.
I mean, I get it, right? But I also get them doing it, right? Like my whole thing has always been like, yo, you are bigger. Shout us out.
Do that.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's space in here for both of us.
Absolutely.
There's space.
We only got one sponsor. And speaking of that sponsor, shout out to NoGrease Barbershop. See that trend? We getting better. We gonna get better. You know what's funny? I took my boy to go get his first haircut.
I saw that. That was actually pretty cool.
It was interesting. Cool is a cool word. So we went to Northlake, and so it was funny. Shout out to Darnell at NoGrease Northlake, who has been a childhood friend of mine forever. Since we both were born. But it was funny because he over here, he knows my son. So my son walks in all excited and Darnell taps the chair and he hit them clippers and my boy screamed for the next 10 minutes. And it made me super happy. It reminded me of you, actually. Look at me thinking of Mike when he out the country enjoying himself. We'll get there later. But my wife, the day before, she picks the time. And I forgot I had a meeting. And she's hit me up before my meeting because I had already told her, like, yo, I can't go. This is an important meeting. I can't mix it. And she said, yo, I'm changing the time. I really think you need to be there.
Yeah.
She was like, he's going to break down. And I know how I'm going to act. And I need you there. And so it was funny. We get there. He losing his shit, screaming, kicking. So I take him outside the shop. I force him to look at me. And I'm like, yo, I ain't going to let nobody do nothing to you. And he said, okay. And I said, then, you know, I hate to do this. We're going to talk about people having opinions when you don't have a kid later. I had to make a deal. I had to bribe him. I was like, yo, if you do this, I get you ice cream.
Nothing wrong with bribery.
It's not. And so he said, ice cream? I said, yeah. And I said, I'll let you watch Spider-Man while he cut your hair. He said, Spider-Man? Boy didn't cry. He was looking in the mirror. He was laughing. He told me that now his hair looks like the Black Spider-Man, which it don't, which is cool. But it was a great time after that, man. But it made me think about when you said, yo, certain times dads have to be there.
Yeah. Dad's got to be there. And again, right, like it's so small because people think that like, oh, you didn't do anything, right? Mm-hmm. Like all you did was just took them to the barbershop and bribed them. And it's like, well, it would have went totally different if mom was there or if there was no father in the picture. So again, most of the time what we do as fathers, it does seem small, but you know, you can't drive the car if the tires are flat. And like, even if as men, we're just the air in the tires, you can't do anything without it. So I get tired of what we do being minimized. So I like when we come on here and we're able to tell a story of like, hey, this is what happened. This is what life is. Let's go.
Absolutely. I want to welcome everybody to episode 156 of the Black Dads Club. I am your host, Gavin, a.k.a. Coke, a.k.a. whatever you want to call me. I will be on the road for the next couple of weeks. We still potting every week, but y'all might see me. I might pop up in a city or two. I have the greatest host, the dude who created all of this. He made sure that this podcast kept going when it was supposed to close down. Because it was going to close.
One day it's going to pay off. But I appreciate all the hard work. But yeah, I'm Pastor Mike Will. Hey, appreciate everybody tuning in. Sorry we missed y'all last week.
Yeah, why?
I was actually out of town.
I love this is how you know Mike is old and from the country. Out of town. Mike wasn't in the country.
No, I wasn't in the country.
Mike wasn't here.
When you say you're not in the country, it sounds so pretentious. Like, oh, I was outside of the country. You're doing like I was out of town, man. I just wasn't here.
He wasn't here. And then when he came back, my kid was sick.
Yeah, I mean, the airport kind of got me sick too. Hey, man, mask up,
please.
And it was way too many people coughing in the airport Friday. I knew I knew my throat was about to be killing me, and it did. Luckily, I beat off a cold, but yeah, man, I was down in my favorite place,
which is
Columbia.
Yeah, He was out of town, so y'all got to take that with y'all. Think about it.
So, it was a good time, man. I go ahead and speak on it, man. I'm actually trying. I tried to get some footage for a video vlog, but then I realized I left my stabilizer, so all the footage is crap. But should be leaving again soon, so I'm gonna see if I can get that footage together for you guys. But
I'm going down there in November, but no footage will be taken.
Understood. But no, one of the coolest things is whenever I leave the country, man, especially when you head to Latin America, Caribbean, South America, is when you run into other
baddies.
Americans. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, look, the baddies are implied, man. I don't want to talk about the baddies. But I actually met 3 cool bros while I was down there.
Okay.
And a Euro American too. So it's that's probably one of the best parts that I don't think people talk about when you travel. Is typically in the United States, you really don't meet new guys outside of your friend circles.
Yeah.
Right. You can meet friends of friends, but you rarely meet somebody, have a conversation and be like, yo, let me get your number. But when you start traveling out of the country and you see a guy, an American, bro, most of the time you be like, yo, how's you down here?
Yeah.
And, and as bros, you be like, yo, let me get your number. Yo,
Absolutely.
If I'm back down here, if you down here, let me, hit me up. So I think just that camaraderie, that fellowship, man, it's one of the best parts that I don't think a lot of guys that travel ever talk about. I end up meeting a brother. He's lived there for 2 years now. And he owns the smoothie shop, which is across from Burger King. So there's Burger King down there. So if you're ever in Boca Grande, it's a Burger King, and across the street is a smoothie shop. It's owned by that brother. Go check it out. And he's been there for 2 years, but he was every summer he grabs his son, and his son comes down there to stay the summer with him in Colombia.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, and I'm like, how cool is that? As a kid growing up, he's growing up in a split home, so that's not cool. But but that's half of us, right? Because half of us are divorced or fight for custody, blah, blah, blah.
Shout out to split homes.
Yeah. No shout outs to split homes. No shout outs. But, how cool is that the son gets to come down there and spend, 3 months, in a different land, picking up another language. By the time this kid, I think he said his son is 11. By the time his son is 14, he's probably going to know Spanish fluent.
Absolutely.
And it's things like that is what I think the whole passport movement, we've undermined some of the great parts of it, right? All of us, we talk about the baddies and the women. Yes, that exists. And it is fun and it is awesome. And no matter what direction you go, whether you want to go prepago or postpaid, either side, you're going to have a good time, right? I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and be like, yo, don't do that. But it's you're going to have a good time either way. But the other parts are, the camaraderie, the fellowship, the meeting the new people, being in the country and being able to come back home and appreciating, the United States. I was looking for some books trying to help my son get caught up on his reading, and to be able to go to a public library, right?
Yeah.
And and have the resources there, and there's no late fees. I didn't know that. Public libraries do not even have late fees anymore. You can just keep checking stuff out. So those are benefits that we have here that in other countries they really, really don't have. I got shook down while I was down there.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I got shook down by the cops. He saw me walking. I had some cigars in my pack. He saw it. They hit the lights. They came over. They checked my bag. And when he gave my bag back, he was just can I get one of those? And I was just absolutely, sir. You can absolutely have, one of those. You know what I'm saying? So it's you don't deal with those things per se, here in the States. So it does provide perspective when you get back. That being said, I still want to retire outside the country.
This podcast got to take off before Mike retire.
Yeah, you definitely got to take off. But I say all that to say, out of the country, had a good time. I think you boys should go to. And hopefully I can get better footage next time so we can get the travel blog going.
Please. Before we get started, I do want to just send some love to Dwight and Nita and Angelica. Close to us, they're actually people we grew up with. Dwight is Mike's best friend.
Yep.
They had a tragedy in their family, and the reason why I'm shouting them out because they have been early listeners to when this pod was trash.
Yeah, this is true.
So we just got our thoughts and prayers with your family, man. We love y'all. If y'all need anything, hit us up. But all right, let me tell you what I've been doing the last 2 weeks, and we gonna get there later. But one thing I have been doing is we missed a lot. You was out of town, my kid gets sick, you get sick, and it's just been stupid wars within our community. And we ain't got to spend that much time on these, but I do think it's interesting. We missed the Cardi B and Offset.
Yeah, we did.
Offset looks like he's crashing out.
I mean, when you lose your girl, bro, last thing you want to do when you break up with your girl is know your girl gets smashed by dudes that's on your level or higher or lower. You just kind of just don't want to know in general.
You just don't want to know.
You just don't want to know in general.
And then it's tough when you're dealing with a girl who loves the internet.
Yeah, I mean, but these are things that he should have considered way prior.
So, Joe Budden had an interesting take about that.
Yeah.
He said, what happens when you date the LeBron James of your type? And he said, and he talked about Cardi, and he was like, Offset, in all sense of the word, every girl we've seen Offset with is like just a cheaper version is a Paul George version of Cardi B.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Paul George is the diet, it's the store brand of LeBron James.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Sorry, Paul George. You're great, by the way.
Yeah.
Please feel free to come on the pod.
He has a pod, don't he?
I don't know. You know his girl used to be a dancer?
Yeah.
I respect that.
I mean, hey, if you can handle it, you can handle it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not, sex work is real work in all variations.
And I'm coming out with a shirt for sex workers. A Black Dad's Club shirt.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. But Cardi, Offset is obviously undisciplined.
Clearly.
So I mean, I think that's the problem, right? Now, am I defending? Look, here's the thing. I don't know if Cardi actually got smashed while she was pregnant.
I don't know.
Or she was just, saying that to mess with him.
Well, let's do this. Don't we supposed to believe black women? So she said she did.
She said she did. All right,
So,
let's give her credit.
Let's give her credit.
Yeah, that's rude. So
would you tag somebody else? Would you tag a pregnant woman?
Are we telling the truth today?
It's October. It's the first weekend of October. We can.
Oh man,
come on. Would you? Knowingly, not unknowingly.
Look, man, pregnant pie is the best pie on the planet. So I mean, to just knowingly turn down the best pie on the planet, I don't really have that set of morals. So with that being said, like married deep into a relationship, like everything going good, and she's just a thought. That's probably not my thing because as a guy, I do have a rule. I never did revenge sex. Like if a woman want to get back, I'd be like, nah, I'm not into that. Like if you gonna cheat, you gonna cheat.
Yeah,
you gonna know you a thought.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're not about to sit here and be like, I just did this because no. So that's always been my rule, right?
Okay.
But so yeah, I say all that to say, I'm that's a long way of saying I would. Basically.
You like I don't know what a laugh is back on this soundboard because I mixed it up. I looked at it like this.
But it is rude, though. I will say it is rude.
It's rude. I think it's rude for Cardi to say it. I don't believe Cardi did it, but
I don't think she did it either. I think she did that to bother him.
I think she has more respect for herself than that. And like, look, if
she
Cardi,
did it though, I mean, they entertainers. Like it's not. This is not a high bar of moral virtue. Right?
The only thing that pissed me off was, I said it. Joe and them spent over an hour they podcast talking about it. You get on like Facebook groups and they talking about it. And then you seeing people take up for if she is pregnant, she wanted to get something cool. And I'm like, and she's right. You can do whatever you want to with your body, but you just got to know who you are and what you are.
Look, I will say this. Everybody defending that if she was pregnant and got, blasted, that's cool. Like y'all all thoughts though. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't have to sit here and pretend that like this is high virtue. Like no, this is very no virtue. Absolutely. At this point. Like this is a bad decision, and you're just deciding to make it. All right, and I'm not a moralist. All right,
okay.
So I'm not one of these people that's like, oh, you make sure you do the right thing. Like, bro, no. Sometimes the wrong thing is the fun thing. It's the feel good thing. So I'm not sitting here saying like, yo, what to or not to. I'm just saying when that veil is pulled back and people see. You don't make it seem like it was okay, right? It wasn't okay. That's not okay. What she did is not okay. And for everybody that's going to what about this? Well, what about Offset? And I clearly said at the very beginning of this, he's undisciplined.
And he's shown that way before this.
Yeah. So he's like, and it's like, dick discipline in a man is attractive, especially when you get 30 plus, right? Yeah. When you're in your teen years and you go to college and, right after college, pre-25, yeah, all right, you community dick, right? Like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But at some point, you know what I'm saying, as a man, you got to be like, all right, I got to be way more responsible because there's a lot of things that can mess you up with having out of wedlock babies, right? Mm-hmm. Getting back on child support. Man, like, dude, you get backed up on child support. We just talked about traveling. Dude, one of my really good friends cannot get his passport because he has back child support. And here's the kicker. He was paying child support and he had custody of his kids. The state just said they had it wrong for over 18 years. So he got 18 years of missed payments, misapplied payments for 18 years, and he's trying to legally get that correct. He can't even come out of town. I'm begging the dude to get. And here's the thing. Oh, here's the back end, right? Only thing that the mother got to do is just sign off that she don't want the money.
Oh, well, that's never gonna happen.
That ain't gonna happen. So it's like,
stay strong, sis.
Yeah,
well, stay strong, brother.
Yeah, I'm like, man. I want to talk to her like, yo, can you get my boy out the hook so he could please come out of town with me? Or Gavin hates when I say out of town. So he could please travel outside of the country with me.
Please.
So there's a lot of bad decisions that you can make as a man by just being out here with no dick discipline.
Facts. Another war in the black community I'm ready to end. Kamala, I don't care what color you are.
I just stop pretending that your mama raised two black girls.
Oh, whoa. All right, we really telling the truth today.
Yeah.
I ain't know.
Just stop. Like, you don't have to say that.
Might go out of town.
Let me ask you a question.
Ready.
I mean, like, let's hop to it. If I had a baby with a white woman, right, a Euro American, and we had two sons, right, could I raise two Euro American men?
No,
I couldn't. No one would even say that.
And here's my problem. I'm not even. I think it's corny that. Do it matter to me if Kamala is black or not? No. But the only reason why it does bother me is because you keep trying to prove to me that you're black. So now you pissing on me and telling me that it's raining.
Yeah,
the fact that you went on Matt Barnes, you went on All the Smoke.
Yeah.
And we don't even hear from All the Smoke anymore. I don't know what's going on. Like, you know, if they were on a break. I think it's a big deal that they got this interview. But
it's a huge deal.
It is a huge deal.
It kind of made me wonder how and why.
Well, exactly. But you went on there, and then that's the biggest part that's coming out of that interview is like, yo, all right, so, I mean.
Her sister even claim the blackness that Kamala, is claiming?
I think we just assume her sister black. Her sister look good, too. She looked just like her. She just looked darker. It's just that Kamala keep trying to prove it to me. Bro, it's okay. You and Tyler keep trying to prove that y'all black to the black community, and we're
good. We're good. We're not eating your collard greens, Kamala.
We're not
eating your collard greens. Just be who you are, and just beat the guy that played footsie with an authoritarian regime. That's all we want you to do,
please. And then, yo, I ain't gonna lie. I just knew Mark Robertson was from Columbia, South Carolina.
That's y'all boy.
I thought this man has been running for. So, all right, for people who don't know, me and Mike are in North Carolina. However, because South Carolina is so small and we're so close, sometimes they will run ads for South Carolina things in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Especially if it's right at the border, which we kind of live close to the border.
Well, it's Charlotte. We're in Charlotte, so Charlotte's a border
city.
How about to say border town? Border city.
So it's just funny. So I just knew Mark Robertson. Maybe he running for something like Rock Hill, Fort Mill, Taylor K.
This is y'all boy.
This boy is from North Carolina, from Greensboro.
This is
which y'all, if anybody don't know, that's what started the civil rights movement, the Greensboro 4.
Yeah.
Like, please understand, he from there.
Yeah.
And this man is on porn sites saying he a black Nazi. Is he into race play?
He's absolutely. I mean, if you say you're a black Nazi, you're into race play.
Okay.
Now we do not kink shame on this pod.
I've always stood on the side of who is we.
I do not kink shame on this pod. Is race play a kink that we should shame?
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely. I want to stay consistent. I want to stay consistent and not kink shame. If you're into race play, oh man.
Now see, that's the only one that I have a problem with. That's the only kink. The rest of it is like, all right, whatever. The race. Let me tell you why. And this is so unfair. The girls who are into that, they literally do not like black men.
Not true.
That's my only issue with it.
And that's my issue with it. Is like when you're into race play and then you like, yeah, Like it's not just kink. Like, yeah, fuck y'all for real.
Yeah.
Like, I want y'all to die for real. And it's like, whoa. Like,
yo, sister.
I'm really trying not to shame Mark Robinson for saying he was a black Nazi and being into race play. Is he married to a black woman?
I don't know.
I think him and his wife been married for like 20 years too.
Is she black?
I'm almost certain. But yeah.
I don't think you understand how mad I was when I found that he wasn't from South Carolina.
I know, man, because you be thinking that be y'all crazy shit. I always tell y'all, Charlotte ain't number Little Rock on steroids. That's all Charlotte is.
Yo, yeah, it's something about, and we all been there, when you in college and your white friend invites you to their party, you walk in, you see one or two other sisters in the room, you like, all right, cool, let me go talk to them. This will be an easy transition. And they thumb their nose up at you, like, why are you here?
Yeah.
I don't remember the movie. There's a movie when like two black dudes walk in to like the white frat party, and one of the black dudes is like, yo, no, I'm the only token that's allowed to be here. You got to go. And the black dude's like, okay, cool, I'm going to leave. And like, that's how the black girls teach who into race play. They really be like, they thumb their nose up at you, man. So it'd be bothering me, dog.
So we're kink shaming race play.
Yeah, that's everything else. I mean, you got to tell me some of the kinks that's like weird out there. But
I mean, there's a lot of weird out there kinks. Race play is out there on the border of.
What you think is weird? Oh, he married to a black woman?
I mean, the stuff that I think. I mean, I don't know, man. Because I really try not to kink shame. So I mean, you know, you say weird, like, look, as long as it's like above board, you know, nobody's being hurt, everything is, you know, within the legal realms.
No, give me a weird kink right now.
A weird kink.
That one you like?
There's people that like smelling people farts, right? I think that's I wouldn't kink shame that, but like to me, I'm like,
one of our homegirls had to do that. She was wearing the tank that I sent you.
She was farting for a dude.
Well, she's a sex worker, so yes.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're into it, I can't really be like, all right, that's disgusting because I don't like it. Like, I'm pretty sure there's something I like that other people don't like. So I'm like, I can't kink shame. I can't.
This is the part where I asked you.
Even with race play, I'm not gonna talk about it. Even with race.
Come on, man. It's something you like.
Yeah, no, it's definitely. This is a particular, you know, thing that me and the ladies I enjoy a lot.
You like choke them till they pass out?
No, not till you pass out.
Right
not till you pass. That's scary. That's scary. You got to know what you're doing there. It's an easy way to have an unexplainable
death, and then this pot is over. Joe gonna play us on his podcast and play.
You know what's crazy though? Like it's crazy the amount of women that like that, and also like being like tied up, like for real. Oh, like I ain't talking about like play tied up, like want to be tied up, can't do anything, and like for me, I'm like, man, like that would be a no-go for me. So somebody do that for me, but it is kind of it's kind of weird the amount of weird's the wrong word. It's kind of
there you go shaming. I'm
not even shaming, but it is surprising that the amount of women that's like, yeah, like make me helpless. It's like, yo, you don't really know me like that. Like I'm cool, like I'm the person to do it with, but. Yo, you wildin'.
In old man news, this is right up Mike alley. This is when I slam his generation again. But I like this one though. Hold on.
What's your?
Oh my gosh, here we go. I'm still not cutting it out. Y'all know how I get down.
Majority of heterosexual marriages, the man brings protection and providing, and the woman brings kindness, warmth, and care, right? And sex.
Oh, wow.
That's the economy. I didn't make that up. Don't get fucking mad at me in the comments. I didn't make it up. It was here before me. It's going to be here after me. I promise, right? So that's the game. That's the economy. His roles, his obligations are enforceable by law. So state power can be used to enforce his obligations, not hers. The court cannot order her to be nice to him or to him or to stay pretty or to stay sweet and friendly to him and kind to him or speak nicely of him or raise the children in a meaningful way that, you know, creates value to him instead of teaching them to disrespect him, right? But his promises in that, shelter, food, financial obligations, court can force you to do that. And if you don't do it, they can put you in jail or they can take away your driver's license, your professional licenses. So what is that? When you have a contract where only one side is enforceable by law, the penalty of law, like that is a dangerous game to play if you're a man.
That's why you got to go 50-50, fellas.
He's sort of all over it. That's a divorce attorney. What's the name of the guy? We need to shout him out this video.
Oh, look at Mike trying to do He bigger than us. We ain't got to shut him out.
Oh, he's bigger than us.
What's masculine mindset?
Okay, it's an attorney. I
figured it out for you.
Yeah.
It is interesting that
men, what men are obligated to do is enforceable by law. But to his point, what women are supposed to do is not enforceable by law. That's a unique take.
Well, if you believe that that's the obligation of a woman.
Well, I mean, what is the obligation of women? I mean, what? I mean, I think we set the bar pretty low of being nice.
I got cussed out last week. You got to take. You got to take.
I mean, what's the obligation of women? I would say, being nice. Now, look. One thing I do hate. I hate when guys make it seem like women are there for sex for men. Right?
Yeah, that's the only problem.
That always bothers me because nobody is hornier than women.
Facts.
I assure you. If you don't believe me, track your girl's ovulation cycle, and a day before she ovulates, ask her anything. I'm talking about the wildest, most ridiculous, something you have never even considered, and see how fast she say yes. All right? No one is hornier than women. So I hate when we make it seem like, well, women come to men and offer sex. No, we don't. Men offer way more sex to women. That's why we can't even charge for it, because women are just like, nah, I'm gonna talk you out of it.
Facts. And they would.
And they will.
They be the ones that
they'll talk you out of it. Like the romance shit is fake, bro.
You know what? I think everybody's obligations is different. For me, my obligation is be nice, helpful, and take care of home.
Yeah.
I know that sound. And when I say take care of home, man, is there certain things that when I get home I don't want to worry about? And it's funny because me and Corinne was talking about this last week, and we was sitting down and we were speaking about it 2 days ago, and we was talking about me as a photographer and what I want to do. And I told her, I said, y'all been taking pictures since I'm 17, 18. Like, I'm bored, right?
Yeah.
And it's fun, and she's literally trying to, and I'm in this bit, for those who don't know, I'm in a business class with the city, and it's like a 3-month, I haven't been in school since I was 21. I realized I cannot go back to school. Just because this is like a lot, just mentally it gives me anxiety. And so, but she just sat there and was like, how do I help you? Do I need to be on payroll? Do I need to take off certain jobs? Like, do I need to do certain gigs for you, certain things for you to help you? Do you need to start training me to be a photographer? And that's what I need. It's like, yo, help me. Don't want to make it biblical, but geez, like.
No, that's what it is though, right? Like that would be the obligation of women. And we're so afraid as men to even, say that, right? Like what do I need from my wife? I need my wife to be a help me, right? Mm-hmm. And here's the thing, right? You can be the boss, right? But if you're the boss, right, then you're going to get all the boss stuff.
Yeah.
And y'all don't ever want all the boss stuff. Dr. Miles Monroe says this perfect. I need to listen to him today on YouTube a little bit. If y'all never listen to Dr. Miles Monroe, go listen to him. He is a preacher, but he don't talk like a preacher.
Okay. Like you.
Yeah, like me. Like me. But one of the things he said, he's like, I've been to it was over 100 countries. Like I've been to over 100 countries. He's like, I've met, women from all around the world. And he said, I could assuredly tell you that out of every country I've been to, out of all the women I've ever met, none of them want to work and they all want to be taken care of.
Facts.
Right? So it's like, if that is the case, right, don't tell me you want to be a boss, right? Because we know that that's not really true. Uh-oh. Right? Never mind. You want to be a helpmeet to a boss. Right. Yeah. So your job is to kind of help me get there. Right. So to your point with your wife, right? Yeah. She's like, we ain't about to mess up the photography money. Like, slow down.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah, she's like, slow down, right? We ain't about to mess up that money, right? Like, let me know what I need to do. And it's like, yo, that is like the obligation of a woman. That is a good woman, right? We were talking about Tua, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. And it was like, yo, there's no way he's going to retire. A man would die on the field, right? If for him, and he needs to come back because my fantasy team it's suffering. Yeah, Tua, I need you back, bro. Sorry. But for him to retire, right? That would have to be his wife, right? If his wife was like, yeah, you know what? We've got enough. We don't need it anymore. I need you home.
Yeah.
He'd be at home, right? So, I think those are the duties and responsibilities and obligation of women is to assist the man, right?
Facts.
But to his point, the state can enforce our obligations, right?
Yeah.
You gonna pay this child support. You gonna pay this alimony. If we say the house is hers, she's gonna have it, right? And we say that you got to sell the house, right? She's getting half, right? Like the state can enforce all of the man responsibilities, right? When it comes to the woman, though, the state don't enforce anything.
Facts.
So
Yeah.
I think his point is solid.
Let's take us back to memory lane. We only going back to the last episode. We posted a video. Shout out to our production team for clipping that up.
Thank you to our very, very, very good production team. Best in the world.
Best in the world, especially amongst the micro pods, as Joe called us.
But that sounds so direct.
Oh, absolutely.
It sounds
But I
so
love
direct.
it. I love it because it lets me know that I ain't crazy. A lot of stuff ain't crazy. I had a whole conversation about the ops with another guy, and it's funny when you have to prove to people that you are not crazy.
Yeah.
And then when you tell a stranger, they go, "All right, I know both of y'all."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been happening.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Now you connecting a puzzle for them. Last episode we posted Nice and Neat, and we talked about Duke in particular, talking about he won't let his son get his nails painted. After that episode, shout out to the algorithm just doing what they told us that they are doing for real.
Pick a fights.
They pick a fight and they only show it to people that they know will anger them. And so that's what happened. And it's crazy when we have the same amount of views as the original posters.
Yes.
I think Duke and them have like 180,000 views. Total, we're past that on different networks, but on Instagram in particular, it's like 170.
Really?
So, yeah, they on my ass. And so I think it's funny. Also, I think Duke and the numbers is interesting. How we got the same amount of views, but y'all got 5,000 likes. Maybe because they sent it to people that agree with him. Maybe, I don't know. But the thing that made me laugh was I personally watched the full video. I understand from a full video. So what happened is they made a full video, they made a reel, and then they edited their reel. They took one line out of their reel and posted that same reel on Instagram. The full reel is different on YouTube and TikTok. So that made me interested. Like, damn, why did y'all take out a certain part that y'all put on Instagram? And so if you don't know, he said he wouldn't let his kids get his nails done. I am here to double down on my take. I am here to let people know that I think the internet is full of low comprehension levels.
Well, that's definitely social media in a nutshell.
Absolutely. To give everybody a thing, I definitely said in the video that I will ask him what's unmanly about getting your nails painted. And I said that after I asked him that, we would get 2 steps away from me realizing that he may be homophobic. Now, I actually didn't spend time going through the comments like I really, really wanted to, because I noticed a lot of people was just going out their way to talk about something I didn't talk about. Because he won't let his son do X, Y, and Z, is he homophobic? Nope, I can't say that I care. Also, I am here to double down because in his full video, he said that men that get their nails painted is men, something I just don't agree with. Because I do think you get into a point where gender and sexuality don't necessarily match. Just because your sexuality or your sexual orientation or sexual preference, that doesn't disqualify you from being a man. And I think that is a dangerous rhetoric from his point of view. Because if you're saying that, hey, a man does feminine things, he's no longer a man. So, then we getting down that road of like, yo, if you're gay, if you're flamboyant, are you no longer a actual man? I'm not going to do that. And I think that's dangerous because there's a lot of these gay dudes there's a whole YouTube series of them whooping y'all straight dudes' asses and y'all thinking that he's sweet out there.
Well, I mean, I think that's proof that they're still man, right? But I think the question has been, like what is masculine, what is feminine, right?
Yeah.
And I think we've allowed the internet to convolute, things, right? Mm-hmm. Feminine things are things that typically females would do, right? Masculine things are things that typically men would do, right? Mm-hmm. So if a man does something that typically women, would do.
Hold on. We got to answer this. Sorry. Y'all put a plug in that. Y'all gonna have to listen to it. Hold on. Ed. Hold on. We can't hear you. Hold on, man. We on the pod, man.
We're podding, Ed. What's up, brother?
Yo, I'll call just in time. I need y'all to plug something for me.
Hey, go ahead, man. We'll plug it.
Hold on. I got to make sure we plugged in. Say something for me. It is not. Nah, it's not coming through. All right, go ahead. What you need, Ed? Since you didn't interrupt our broadcast.
Yo, listen. we're having a Illmatic listening party December 6th.
December 6th, Illmatic. That's the first rap album I ordered in my life. I've said that multiple times on this podcast.
December 6th, Illmatic.
Illmatic, where's it going to be at, Ed?
It's going to be at the premium outlets from 6, I think from 7 to 9:30, something like that.
All
right, it's on my calendar. Let me make sure I stay in good favor with my son's mother so she can watch my son for me that night. That's my night, my kid night.
Look, man, you want me to rap the whole album for y'all?
We're probably good on that.
Yeah, I mean, you can. Yo, listen. I mean, I was thinking about having you host with me, man. So.
Look, absolutely. All right, December 6th, NoGrease. You said at 7:30?
7 to 9.
7 to 9. All right, then, man. All right, Ed, get off our phone so we can record. All right, bye.
All right, brother.
All right, back to your point about masculinity in.
Okay, yeah.
Femininity.
Here's the thing. If there's things that typically a man do and then a woman do it, right? That is outside of what would be feminine, and then vice versa, right? If a man does something that typically women do, that is outside of being masculine and feminine. So I think we try to navigate, sexual orientation to the point that we're not even being honest with ourselves anymore, right? If you are a woman and you wear a man suit, right, you're going to look masculine. There's nothing about you to say, hey, you're feminine, right? Because you're doing something that typically a man would have on, right? So in that moment, you are lacking femininity, right? And it's vice versa. If a man wears a dress, right? It's not, men don't typically wear dresses. We don't have to sit here and say, well, you're still masculine. Like, no, he's doing something that is feminine. Now, does that make, can I label his orientation off of that? Not really.
You can't. And you can't say he's not a man.
I cannot assign his gender, right? But I can say he's not masculine.
Okay.
That I can say. And I think that's where we're losing the sauce, is because we're saying that, like, if I say somebody isn't at top-notch masculinity, people are saying, well, you're saying that they're not a man. It's like, no. It's not what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. And I wasn't talking about you.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Duke.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what he said. And shout out to Young Thug. Young Thug was putting on a dressing as a woman and rolling up and shooting y'all niggas.
Yeah, I mean, and all that's wild. Like, look, wear what you wear, do what you do. I am so
jeans that is though.
I am so dude. I'm so anti the sassy shit. And to me, the sassy stuff is men not liking other men shooting other men in the chest. Like that is sassy to me.
Oh, Mike made it serious.
No, I mean, I'm not making it serious. I'm just saying, it's like, yo, like, these men, without having male masculine guidance and leadership, we're letting these young folks, right? Because I'm the baby of Generation X, right? So I'm uncle to y'all, but for Generation X, I'm the baby. So I have cousins and friends and family members that are 10, 15 years older than me, right? So they're, how they think is going to be a little bit different than how I think, and then how I think is going to be a lot different than how generations 15 years, younger than me think.
Absolutely.
But one of the things that I have noticed is we have too many people that have an opinion on masculinity that was not raised around masculine figures.
Okay. Speaking of opinions, oh my gosh, they are calling me today, and we're not answering that. How do you feel about people without children having an opinion on children? Because we learned after that Duke don't have kids.
Yeah, as a one of the things that I did realize is that, like, once I had a kid, is like a lot of stuff that you thought, you just got to throw it out.
Facts.
You got to throw it out, right? Like if you see a kid screaming in the corner of a restaurant and the parents just letting the kid do what it do, you know what I'm saying? Like that's not bad parenting, right? Like it's one of those things where they're just like, you don't know how many things have transpired prior to that, and like you don't even know what's going to transpire after, right? So it's one of those things where it's like, people are like, well, I wouldn't let my kids do, bruh. Trust me, once you get into it, it's going to be a whole lot different.
Absolutely.
So people that do not have kids, it's one of those things where just wait and see. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you can talk all that cash you want.
Yeah.
But once you have kids, things do change. Now, I don't know if his opinion would change about would he let his son paint his fingernails. I think that opinion would stay the same. But I think, if there was a question about orientation in the future, I think most parents, Dick Cheney is probably the best example of this, right?
Okay.
Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't tell me that dude does not love his daughter, right?
Yeah.
And she's probably anti everything that he has represented, as a man growing up. So when it comes to your kids, man, you could always say what you would do, but once you have kids, I think it's a lot different.
Absolutely. I did get a great laugh once I realized that only one of the dudes out there have kids.
Oh yeah, it's gonna change you, bro. It's
gonna change you. Also, shout out to everybody that DM'd me personally, was like, "Yo, so you gonna let your son paint his nails?" I said, "No, nobody asked me that." I said, "If you would ask me, I would give you an opinion." If my son came to me and said, "Yo, it's a trend going on, can I paint my nails?" The answer would be no.
Yes.
First of all, my mom and dad never let me follow trends. Secondly, the reason why it would be no, because I need to know why. And as soon as you say trends, cool. That's cutting a lot of stuff out for me. Also, like I told them, I said, I never have a question about how a man raises or runs his household, because like me and Mike had that whole conversation, we can't change your household, right? Also, I loved how Duke was talking out both sides of his neck. Why? Because in his video, he said, yo, if my homeboy or my brother walk around and their son got their nails painted, I'm going to question him. Bro, you can't have it both ways. It can't be this how I run my house, and if that's how you run your house, cool, but I got to question you about it.
Yeah.
It's a difference if Mike's son did something, I might be like, yo, what's up with that? Mike know me. I don't care.
Yeah.
Mike's son can do whatever he wants.
And I think the vast majority of us feel that way. I think the internet is just the loudest place. It's the bullhorn. It's the echo chamber for any thought that's semi-ignorant to ignorant all the way.
Absolutely. I just thought that was funny. And Duke, whenever you want to come on a podcast and explain yourself, you should do it. Speaking of childless, the opinion of childless people, Mike's favorite debate as of late.
You can raise a child to value $1 without making them struggle for it.
Whatever. Use whatever fucking vocabulary word you want to use. Struggle, adversity, whatever. Trials and tribulations, whatever the fuck you want to use. Long story short, I'm not rolling the red carpet for you. So whatever word you want to use to describe that, whatever. All I'm saying is, as a parent, I'm not rolling the red carpet for you. I don't give a fuck how much resources I have. So you be one of those parents that I went through it, so you got to go through it too. That's the parent you're going to be. Not me. Goddamn right. Not me. And good thing you're not a parent yet. Goddamn right. Because that is a horrible way of thinking when it comes to raising children. Your children's going to grow up to hate your ass. I'm telling you now. Children will grow up and resent you and hate you because you made them struggle unnecessarily. You grew up with a roof. You grew up with a roof over your head, food in your stomach, clothes in your body. And
children need more than that. Children need more than.
Let me say this before I let you go. We got to stop selling our community down the gutter just for clicks and views.
Yeah.
My second thing to you is, where do you think his dad is at?
Yeah, so that was like one of the first questions I had is like, yo, what is his relationship with his father?
Absolutely.
And y'all know that I know this Black Dad's Club, so it's kind of like that's kind of the question all the time. But it's like, that is the question, like, what is the relationship? Because the way he's talking, I'm like, I don't think he has a good relationship with his father.
Absolutely.
And it's your job as a parent to make sure your kid's life is better than your life.
Absolutely.
That's literally your job. I hate in our community, right? Shaq, I'm rich. Kid's not rich.
Yeah.
Who else had that dumbass, quote? And it's like, guys, there's nothing wrong with making sure your kids have a nice life if you've done well. Mm-hmm. I don't want my children to struggle because I struggled growing up. Well, I didn't have any toys at my 4th birthday party. So you're not getting any toys at your 4th birthday party. It is a very immature mindset. It's a poverty mindset. It's something that I really see. Now, look, I know black people. I know on the internet we do dumb shit. So a lot of times we see our dumb shit way more than other communities' dumb shit because we like putting our dumb shit on Front Street for whatever reason. So I don't know if this is really happening in other communities. But, she was right. She was 100% right. Like, I don't understand this. Like, any guy that's like, yo, look, there's nothing wrong with making your kids work for it. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with incentivizing your kids. But son, we're not going to turn the air off in the house because I didn't have air growing up, right?
Yo, Mike loves to say I'm from the suburbs, which is true. I think I'm gonna make a shirt that says from Huntersville. Like, I'm from Huntersville.
We gotta get our t-shirt game up.
We do. I already got a t-shirt for you that I'm gonna make for you. Don't worry about it. You'll see it later. But I say all that to say, my dad, we still own my great grandmother's house, the home that my dad grew up in. It's in the hood.
Is it still the hood?
They're starting to put big properties on the street now.
Okay, so it's not the hood no more.
It's only 2 of them there, but the rest of them are shotgun homes.
Once one house is there, it's no longer the hood. It is gentrified.
That's why this podcast needs to take off so I can buy it from my family. But
yeah, it is gentrified.
But it's a 2-bedroom shotgun house. And if anybody don't know what a shotgun house, you can shoot from the front. It will go out the back door.
Yeah.
It's my great-grandmother's home. Excuse me, my great-grandmother's home. And my dad grew up there. He grew up there because, you know, my grandmother had him at a young age. And he grew up there with his aunts and uncles. It was too many people in this house for it to be 2 bedrooms. But back in the day, you can get that off, right? So it's 6 people living in the 2-bedroom house. And my dad grew up there. My dad did not say, hey, Gavin, guess what we about to do?
Yeah. You gonna sleep on the floor because I had to sleep on the floor. Like, no, he took you to the suburbs.
Absolutely.
And it's like, and that's what you're supposed to do. Like, I really don't understand this mindset of, well, because I struggled, my child should struggle. Like, no, that's the whole point. Point is for me to do better. So my son has no clue what no means for the most part. Right? Absolutely. It's like not right now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like never a real no. When I was young, no was it ain't no way possible.
Don't come and ask me again. Bro, we couldn't even ask our parents twice, like, Ma, for real. It was okay.
Yeah, so no, there's nothing wrong with every generation, especially with, you know, people who are descendants of, you know, enslaved prisoners of war that, you know, have grandparents that grew up in an apartheid. Like, there's nothing wrong with us finally having a softer life than them. So, Thanks. Yeah, I disagree wholly with what he says.
Yeah.
You gonna struggle because I struggle.
But it's not unexpected from sassy men. I will say that.
Like I say, man, too many boys got their granddaddy's last name instead of their daddy's last name.
Absolutely. I think I got my granddaddy's last name. That's it because my dad never mind.
Yeah.
My dad I'm gonna send that to my pops. He gonna be like, all right, now I gotta come sit down with y'all.
Yeah, he gonna cuss you out.
He gonna cuss you out. You said it. Kanye, I am adding you to the list of men that I think one day we're gonna have to owe an apology to. I don't know when it's gonna happen. I don't know if you're gonna keep going crazy, quote unquote. For the last couple of years, Kanye West has been seemingly spiraling, and it just gets interesting because some of the stuff he keep talking about was crazy is happening, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's the Kardashians, whether it's letting us know the power of Jay-Z, and I'm not talking about the Diddy stuff with Jay-Z. I'm talking about just how powerful, and if you listen to other people talk in the industry, they let you know how powerful it is, right? If it was how he talked about Drake and Lucian, it's interesting, right? Y'all call Kanye crazy until Killer Mike said, nah, if you want to win Grammys, you got to go shuck and jive a little bit.
Yeah. Got to go play the bar mitzvah.
You got to.
The bar mitzvah circuit. Yeah. That is insane.
That is, but that's not surprising. You know, Kanye told y'all that, and then Jamie Foxx said what he had to do to win for Ray. It's interesting, right? And Kanye told us a long time ago that Diddy be on some funny stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think it's interesting. I just think it's interesting. I wonder is Kanye getting to that point of like, all right, when are we going to have to send that man his apology?
I just want him to come back to normal and make music.
I do too, but I think it's over for that.
Yeah, I mean, like that's all I want, man. I want him to come back. I think the entertainment industry in general is just, I think it's perverse. You know, I think we sit here like, and I think that's the problem with the black community is this ideal that, you know, mostly what we see when it comes to dominant blacks, like it's more rappers and entertainers, and there's not Robert Smith and Byron Allen and David Stewart, right? It's just rappers and entertainers, and we don't own the music, we don't own the distribution, we don't own the studios, and someone has to decide. Like there's every genre of music exists, right? There is somebody that will rap about, you know, eating right? There's a rapper right now that's what he raps about, right? And then there's another rapper that's rapping about pussy lips pink, booty hole brown, right? A studio head listens to both and decides to put their money behind one or the other.
Mike, we see that in podcasting.
Yeah. Exactly, right?
Like if me and Mike had a conversation, I'll let y'all behind the veil right quick. This is probably the stuff I'm supposed to run by Mike before I say it. But me and Mike had a conversation what this pod was going to be when we first got started.
Yep.
Me and Mike had a discussion about if we want to get popular fast, this is how we can do it.
Yep.
We had a conversation, and it's a lot of times y'all lucky Mike didn't talk me off the ledge on about 3 times where I was like, I'm ready just to do it. Never gonna be able to get another job, but fuck it, right? This photography thing gotta work. It's those conversations. Me and Mike look at what's our top trending videos.
Yeah. It's the BS.
It's the BS. It happens, right?
Yeah.
I know that video last week that we posted went because of 2 things. I made the cover part says something about homophobia.
Yep.
And I clipped a thing where I knew a certain part of Lil Boosie's part of the internet was gonna find that clip and go in. And they proved it. They called me all types of gays. They called me, somebody called me something that I thought was offensive. I was gonna tear his ass up, but I forgot. I couldn't find it. That was the other thing. I couldn't sort through the comments fast enough. But I knew what part of the internet was gonna find that and exactly what happened. And then me and Mike had a conversation like, all right, I think this is the one. They taking it. You know what I'm saying? And it is the music industry the same way. But we talk about certain things. Hey, shout out to everybody that's now getting on the wave of, hey, black men, it's probably in your best interest to get married and have kids.
Whoa.
And we've been saying that, I don't know, for 3-4 years.
3-4 years. Like, so, and the thing is, like, I know some of y'all be listening because I be seeing, like, it'd be like 3 weeks later and then y'all will say, things that we're saying, right? Nobody was talking about freaking apartheid 4 or 5 years ago. Everybody called it Jim Crow.
Absolutely.
Right? And then now it's leaking out. So, and here's the thing. I don't mind it because that's what media is for, right? Mm-hmm. But part of us not blowing up is because we're not wholly negative media. Mm-hmm. And we're having to build by trying to find productive black men and get us all in one space. That's what's going to make us blow, because anytime enough of us get in one place, everybody's like, oh, what the hell they doing? What they doing over there? Right? And it's like, all right. So it's like, I get it. If we could do that, we're going to be fine. But, to the whole Kanye thing, I think we as blacks have to look at entertainment industry in general, Hollywood, and wherever they make music at now. I could even tell you, music made in LA, Atlanta. I think it just made it in people's homes now. Mm-hmm. And they send it to a studio. So to wherever you make music and in Hollywood, that entertainers are perverse. And we have to get our ideal of what black excellence look like and take it from black entertainers. Like, we got to start treating black entertainers, as if they're like, quite possibly they might be the worst person in the world.
Absolutely. In sports news, shout out, I don't know if I should shout out Caitlin Clark. She won Rookie of the Year. We called that.
Yeah.
But Mike was right. I thought it was going to be split. Now,
she was balling. She was hooping, man.
I would have came in here and said, you know what I'm saying? If she got 30% of the vote, I would have had a case like, hey, that last month. Yeah. Nope. She only got 1 vote for Rookie of the Year. I'm talking about Angel Reese. And shout out to Caitlin. It's not circling around in black internet because it wasn't close. I am getting to this weird part of like the WNBA. Are they trying to self-sabotage?
So I don't think the players. Here's the thing. I think when women watch women athletics and women's sports, right, it's only the Olympics for the most part, so it's track and field and gymnastics, right? The WNBA really hasn't been something that women watch. Women's college basketball, I'd say since Dawn Staley, has really taken it, up 10 notches. But that's still up until, honestly, this year. Yeah. I mean, you could say the last 2 years, last 3 years. But up until this year, I really don't think anybody was really paying attention. And I think what women do not understand is that when men talk about sports, right, it's fuck Kobe Bryant, fuck Kevin Durant, fuck Jokic, fuck LeBron. Like, when you're pulling against that team, it's not like, you know what, I hope Joker do okay tonight, but I want us to win. Absolutely. It's like, yo, fuck that bald-headed, fat, lazy muff. Like, that's how it is, right? Like, I can't stand that slew foot motherfucker, right? Like, that's how it is. Dirt, his old big old face. Can't stand him, right? And I don't know if women athletics is ready for how we talk about sports figures.
So if you don't know, a lot of the players have been talking about the racism and sexism and the sexist comments, and just the comments they've been getting. Which to me, first of all, I when I saw it, I was like, okay. And I immediately went to maybe y'all talking about what y'all get offline. But they would, Brittany Griner was very clear. She was like, the stuff I get in the in the court,
in the court, yeah,
in an arena,
yeah.
Like I don't know if anybody's been there. Like there's a reason why every week we've been telling Russell Westbrook, hey, bro, you got to just turn your ears off. Yeah. It's not fair. Because that's how it is. But nobody is going to come up to you off, in your face and say that. Now with the ladies, my thing for the ladies is, and it's unfair too. Y'all got to tell me who telling y'all this. Because I see the comments. It'd be a lot of lady on lady crime.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of lady on lady crime. But I mean, here's the thing. I think one of the things the ladies got to understand is that, hey man, everybody's not going to like you and everybody's not going to be nice.
Absolutely.
Like that's part of sports. I mean, it's part of media in general. Like people aren't nice to us. But when it comes to sports, like the way we talk, I think you might get a little bit more heat than me. But the way that we talk about sports figures.
Oh yeah.
Like once your gaze turn in this direction, you're going to get that conversation, especially now with daily fantasy, sports betting. Like,
they mad at you on different things.
You could get one more rebound. Like that conversation is going to be had, and we either got to admit that we want to treat women differently because they're different.
Facts.
Or we're going to have to say, okay, this is what equality looks like. And ladies is not going to feel good all the time.
I had that whole conversation of equality versus fairness this past couple of days. And then, the other thing is like, I'm going to say this and I make it very plain. Angel Reese, you're too young. Love you. I like what you stand for. I like what you can do for young black girls. I'm begging you to get off the internet, hire a PR team, and get you a burner account.
The whole WNBA right now needs to go through media training. Like even the whole part of like Asia talking, like your league MVP. If LeBron was saying that about Cooper Flag, it'd be all over SportsCenter.
So for those who don't know, Adrian Wilson was sitting. What's the girl? She was sitting down with two ladies.
She was sitting down with
and girl is good, and she's still blocked for the
Kelsey.
Yeah. So she's sitting down, she's talking, and she's saying that, hey, this player is good.
She's talking about Paige Becker.
She said she's a great player, but she gets a lot of praise because she's white.
Yes,
and she was like, but she's good. But it goes back to our underrated, overrated conversation, right? So,
and she's saying that basically she's overrated because, more people talk about Paige Becker than what's that girl that played at USC? I mean, even though everybody talk about her as well.
Juju,
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So like Paige and Juju are the next, they're the next one up, right? But I think a lot of us, because of Caitlyn, right, you're going to see a lot of people, hop on that page bandwagon.
So what happens is she's having a conversation. It's picked up by a hot mic, and Mike drops it in the group, right? And Mike is like, "Yo, this can't happen." My initial response was, yeah, but she telling the truth. And Mike's response was about media training was, if that's LeBron, he would cover his mouth.
Yes.
And I didn't think about that until I think about every time I've seen LeBron talk to another player for the last 10 years, his mouth is covered. And I said, and I didn't even write nothing back to you because I'm like, he 100% correct. That's what media training do.
Yep.
Yo, it's hot mics everywhere.
Hot mics everywhere. You are the league MVP. You're famous. You maybe not be as famous as you want to be or famous as Caitlyn, but you are famous. Yeah. And to that point, right, I think Caitlyn understands that she's famous. Now, look, maybe Caitlyn has been famous more than these other ladies. Mm-hmm. So she's a little bit more, Hurston. Like I watched on 60 Minutes. Like it was very Michael Jordan-ish, right? Mm-hmm. Not in the sense that she's Michael Jordan, but the way that she answered questions, you really couldn't take a bad take from what she was saying.
Absolutely. She gives you nothing in giving you everything.
She gives you nothing while telling you everything. And it's like, when it comes to like Asia, you got to cover your mouth. Like you can have this conversation, but you got to understand that no one is going, like LeBron James could not go on a hot mic and be like, yo, Cooper Flag is overrated, man. If he wasn't a white boy, nobody would care.
Absolutely. It would never happen.
Yeah.
But to you, Angel, love you. I wish you nothing but the best because, and I say this because you are too young that 10 years of this will drive you crazy.
It really, really will. And here's the thing. WNBA, your product still is mediocre to me. Women's college basketball that comes on, like the top 10 games are always good. So, I watch that. WNBA isn't there yet.
It's not.
It's not there yet. But one day you will get there. And when you do get there, because one of the things that I will say about women's sports is if you like basketball, like if you like dribbling, passing, shooting,
team ball.
Like if I was a coach, like if I coach basketball,
this is where you want.
I would watch nothing but WNBA.
Absolutely,
because
this is where you want to be at.
I'd be like, this is going to teach you how to play, how to teach and coach basketball.
Yeah.
So, but if y'all want to get famous, hey, it's rough in the sports field.
And Shannon Sharp, stop arguing with black women on the internet.
Yeah, Shannon, what's up with that, man? Chill out, bro.
They took Kevin out.
That is a no win. That is a no win.
No win at all. Shaq. I love Shaq. Shaq is my MJ, Kobe, KD. Shaq is my next fourth favorite player of all time. He's just bigger than life. As a person who stood beside Shaq as he walked to the hotel, that is a huge man. He is, even though I'm right at 6 foot and he's only 1 foot taller, it feels like 4 feet taller than you. But Shaq is a great guy. But let me tell you my other favorite part about Shaq. Shaq is in this part of his life where he just say stuff that maybe you shouldn't say. So he was talking about the current state of NBA players versus the past. And he said he's talking about when he was talking about Rudy Gobert. And he said he paved the way for y'all making $200 million and play hard. For those who not know, maybe about a month ago, they asked Shaq for the worst NBA player of all time. And he said Rudy Gobert. And
Rudy not the worst of all
he's
time.
Not, but Shaq has had smoke for Rudy Gobert.
Shaq do not like that contract that Rudy had.
He do not.
Cause what did Rudy sign for? Like 220, 4 years? It was like.
Not only that, Rudy messed up the trade market in the NBA. Remember, Rudy got traded for more than what Kevin Durant got traded for. Remember, it was like, it was like a bunch of players and like four first round draft. It was like something crazy.
Here's the thing. I don't understand why everybody is pissed at what Rudy makes. $205 million extension. So 4 years, $205 million. Like,
crazy.
Look.
He ain't worth it though.
But this is what collective bargaining. This is why everybody should be pro unions. Because when you pro union and you profit share and collective bargaining, I mean, there's only 12 players in the NBA, right? So like they got to divide that pie up with nothing but the players.
Yeah.
So at every level, every year, it's going to always be more and more money. It's like, yeah, is it absurd? Absolutely, but that's what a players union is for.
Yeah.
So the guys just on the ports, right? I think they say they just got a 62% raise.
66, I think.
Yeah, and and congrats to y'all because automation is going to take all those jobs, especially now. You just accelerated it. So
yes.
Good luck to y'all.
Good luck.
But that's what collective bargaining gives you, right? Like no one listening to this pod right now could get a 66% raise. Even if you work for yourself, like you could not raise your rates by 66%.
Nah.
And get the same amount of business, right?
Facts.
You would get some business, but it's a good chance that you're probably gonna make less money.
But when you costing the US $5 billion a day,
yeah. So I get Shaq being pissed at Rudy, but Shaq talking about people not playing hard. I mean, that's literally the accusation of Shaq the last 6 years of his productive career. Fuck the whole Boston Celtics, Phoenix Suns, right?
Who else he played for?
Yeah, well, he played for Miami, but that was like his last year of really being good. So like that, it was the same complaint, right? Like Shaq doesn't play hard. So Shaq, you can't really say, Rudy doesn't play hard. Just say, I don't like how much money he got.
I love how Shaq, he always doubled down in his 2020 hindsight. He always doubled down. Like, I was never jealous of Penny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nah, me and Kobe we never argue.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. He'll change the narrative
quick.
But it's like, it's a little bit envious. Like Shaq, like let the young dudes get paid, man.
Yeah,
stop pocket watching other men.
Oh well, Stephen A. wants $100 million.
The Gavin goes straight to pocket watching.
Yo, I do this. This is my favorite thing to do.
What do you want? $100 million to do what though?
That's it. That's what he wants his extension to be.
$100 million for
it's like 5 years.
5 years?
Yeah, he want like I think it's like $20 million a year.
He trying to get kicked off. He want a severance. He ready to go do his own thing. He think he's gonna pull off what
Pat did?
No, Shannon.
Oh.
He think he gonna pull off what Shannon did. Shannon's in a unique space, man.
Shannon is in a space of his own. I love when Shannon told Cameron and Mace like only like Joe Rogan can talk to me.
Yeah, that was a little rude.
It was, but y'all been playing in Shannon's face y'all been calling him suspect for a couple of times. You know, y'all been making jokes at Shannon that when now you talking and he got to pull the shit out.
Well,
of the table.
yeah. I mean, he could definitely, you know, lay the wood on the table if you want right now. I mean, he is the pod right now. It is. Yeah. It is him and Joe Rogan. Yeah.
No, this year is just his.
Just his. Yeah. This is just his. So yeah. My bad.
And I'm with you. See, shout out to Haley, man. She got Mike not to cut me off. We had a listener who we did not know was a listener. Shout out to our white listeners, man. Shout out to Haley. She wrote and she said, "Yo, tell Mike to shut up. I want to hear your opinion." I won't say what Mike said back, but Haley, he did not care that you wanted to hear me talk. But no, I look at it. I'm with you. That's what I was trying to get back to. Like, I'm with you. I think Stephen A. wants to do what Shannon's doing.
Yeah.
And I think he's trying to just over-ass. And I think that I'm interested to see if ESPN give it. Why? Because that is their top talent there, allegedly. At least that's what Stephen A. wants us to give. And I like that Stephen A. tries to make it known that, yo, I'm the best person over there. I've been there the longest. I got the #1 rated show, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, I don't know if anybody knows it. First Take is not a good show.
Dude, it's not a good product. Is there a good product on ESPN right now that's not a live game?
No, not at all.
Besides College Game Day. College Game Day, like bringing Pat McAfee to College Game Day.
Yeah.
Now that was smart.
That was genius.
Yeah, that was genius. Like
bringing the Kelsey brother on when they do like the Monday Night Football thing. I think they show that on ESPN. I knew that y'all was only gonna let him get off one week of like not wearing a suit. They was like, all right, bro, you got to dress up. I mean, the best show on TV, I don't know. It might be First Things First, but Nick Wright, and that's on Fox. And Nick Wright is not black. If Nick Wright was black, if Chris Bouchard and Nick Wright switch races, that'd be a great show. It'd be the #1 show.
But Nick say I'm married to a black woman. I got a black kid.
Okay, Kamala. Can he raise black children if his wife left him right now? Holly Berry Paris stated.
Nick Wright would actually argue. He would actually argue that he could. I like Nick Wright though. I like
Nick Wright a lot. And let me tell you why.
And Fox is way better than ESPN. It is a shame at what my childhood television consumption company has become. You know, in my latter years, man, heading to my golden years. Like,
absolutely.
ESPN, I'm so sick of y'all.
I'm ready to double down. I'm ready to say it now. It's official. Hulu, y'all are ruining a great show by trying to make it very plain that Aaron Hernandez was gay.
You still watching? Is it like weekly episodes?
Yeah, it's weekly.
Okay.
They might be on episode 5 now. It's a great show, regardless. Right. It's a great show. Here's my issue. Y'all are making it known. This is the story that they're trying to sell to us. And I'm not telling nobody not to watch it. I'm actually telling everybody to watch it because it's actually great. They're basically trying to show us that Aaron Hernandez struggled with his sexuality so much that it caused him to spiral. To the man that he became.
Him struggling with his sexuality is why he became a murderer.
Absolutely.
See, I don't like that narrative. Is it more of a narrative than P-Valley?
So what narrative? P-Valley, I never thought they was giving that to us. Because
the dude was struggling, right? Like with the rapper.
But P-Valley ain't really about him. The last season, they tried to show us about like him struggling with his thing. I get that part.
Yeah.
They was kind of trying to throw us in there. Nah, it's not as bad as that. Because, I mean, I picked up on the other stories of P-Valley that I really loved. That was just like OD, y'all trying to... P-Valley got to a point where it was like, all right, y'all just trying to show us...
P-Valley had a shot.
It had a shot.
And then it just went off the fucking ledge.
But my issue with P-Valley is I want to know why they didn't bring it back. And I'm imagining that everybody on that show wanted more money.
More than likely more money. I mean, they could blame it on COVID, but I think a lot of times, a lot of good shows get popping too fast.
And P-Valley, that's what happened.
So they don't have the budget for it, right? Like if a show becomes really, really popular real fast and you paying an actor, you know, $8,000 an episode, and now he's coming back and he's won $35,000 or $50,000 an episode. Yeah, then you don't have that in the budget. Like all these shows are budgeted out.
Because if I'm Uncle Murder, the guy who the rapper who's on the DL, he became popular very fast for good or bad. You know what I'm saying? So for the right or wrong reasons, whatever the case may be, and he played a great character, great actor. First of all, everybody that was on P-Valley were known actors. Half of them, excuse me. So now, and some of them are in other shows.
Yeah.
So now, like Diamond, they ended. He's on the show with Megan Good, which is a great show. He's an actor doing other things. Yeah, I can't come back to P Valley for 10 grand an episode, yo.
Yeah. So now, I think that's sometimes like the downside of, a good show is it becomes popular too fast.
So but Aaron Hernandez, I mean, first, here's the other thing. Nobody knew Aaron Hernandez was gay until after he passed, and the quarterback that is in this show comes out and says, yo, y'all know me and him were sleeping together. And it's like, wait. This man got a wife. He got kids out here. His family's out here. And then that gets shown. And if I'm thinking correctly, besides random dudes that in the show that he was hooking up with online, that he met online, the only person who he had a relationship with was that quarterback. And so for me, it's like they are trying to press the issue that he is struggling with his sexuality. And now it's just kind of getting corny. It's like, all right, bro, y'all doing the most. I'm not surprised. I've spoken to a lot of dudes who I know who are gay, who play football, and they have said it, yo, it is some dudes who DL on the team. But as the gay guy who was struggling with my sexuality, but all the dudes, as I am now openly gay, it's not my business to go out those men.
Yeah, but I also think it goes back to what I always say. I don't think most men care, right? Like, if we was hooping in the back gym and there was like 8 guys there, right, and 2 guys walked in, and you was like, okay, they kind of suspect, right? I don't, but they 6'2", like, hey, bro, you can hoop. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I don't think most men care.
I don't think most men care. I think most of the world looks down on people for outing people.
Yeah, now that, and I don't think you should. Like, I mean, hell, I don't even want to kink shame you guys. Yeah. I'm also not going to, debate what's your sexuality either. Now, with that being said, since I don't kink shame and I don't debate your sexuality, right? I don't think you need to like press, right? Be like, hey, this is me. Like, we're good, right? And shoot the rock.
They are ruining a good show.
Yeah.
By trying to make it seem, and I don't like that. Yo, he was struggling because he was gay, or because he was struggling to announce that he was gay. He went to the club and shot somebody in the face.
And that's the thing. It's not. What? Yeah, it's not a sexuality as much as it could be acceptance, right? But let's talk about acceptance. Let's not talk about
let's talk about how his dad died his senior year of high school, and that ruined his family because he found out his mom was cheating on his dad, and he was cheating with his mom was cheating with the man that was married to like his dad's sister. It was so weird. Let's talk about that. That will ruin you. The man who pushed you, the man who was abusive verbally, but saying they didn't really get into his dad. They try to hint at his dad was just very aggressive Hispanic guy.
I might have to turn this on when I get.
Oh, it's a great show. The dude looks like Aaron Hernandez. They got the dude. They tap into Tim Tebow. They got a dude on there playing Cam Newton. They talking about what's they call?
How is Cam in here? Cam was barely at Florida.
That they talk about it. You know what I'm saying? They talk about it.
Barely there.
But they got to pull in certain names. Because now if Cam gets upset that they talking about him getting kicked out of school, it is. They really talk about Tebow. And so it is a great show. And it was a lot that went wrong in Aaron's head, and being gay was not on the top of the list.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at with it, right? Because if this was... let's say if it wasn't Aaron Hernandez, let's say if it was Tim Tebow, right? Would they take this road, right? Yeah. Or would they make it like, oh, it's everything else? It has nothing to do with the orientation. It's everything else.
There's a part where Tim Tebow talks about struggling with temptation.
Because, I'm not going to say on the spot.
Thank you. What I want to say is, they talk about Tim Tebow struggling with temptation and women. When Tim Tebow get his show, whatever that may look like, because they're not going to talk about that.
No, they're not. They're not.
That's what I want to say.
They're not. And that becomes a problem because only when it's men of color, I don't know if Aaron Hernandez would qualify as a black man or not.
No, he Puerto Rican, he brown.
Yeah. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
they struggle with, and his dad was homophobic.
Yeah, you know how they get with colorism.
Oh yeah,
and
they
all
can
that
pick,
stuff.
but they up north. Only the Hispanics in Florida think they white.
Yeah,
can we say that? Yeah, we can.
Yeah, you can get it all.
Yeah,
Gavin's Puerto Rican.
My wife is Puerto Rican. What you got planned this weekend, man?
Oh, man, nothing, bro. I'm grinding, man. Getting over this freaking cold, man.
Absolutely.
Hey, man, y'all with them gators at the mask at the airport, man. People nasty. People was just sneezing. I knew I was going to get the sniffles.
Absolutely, man. Look, man, everybody, our prayers is out to Asheville as well. Everybody that's dealing with the hurricane in Tennessee. I know Tennessee ain't getting a lot of love. And a lot of that is because Charlotte news is North Carolina news. So they've been speaking about Asheville a lot. It was super sad seeing people like homes be washed away.
Yeah.
They talk about the river that's up there was 25 feet. And I've been to Asheville and I've seen that river. No way in the world. Look,
that's crazy.
If you can't swim and you go to the deep end of a swimming pool, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's scary and it's tough. I can't imagine going into like an Olympic sized pool of a river where things is in it.
Or people not even, I mean, dude, people probably didn't even expecting that. Like,
nah.
Like that's crazy. It said basically like it came and just hit the Appalachia because, a hurricane is on the ground and it just took all the water out.
Yeah.
Like, and took it into, all your rivers and streams. I mean, if you're in the Carolinas, Georgia, like every river and stream starts in Appalachia.
Mm-hmm.
So basically all that water just started like there and just came straight down. So prayers out to everybody, affected by the storm.
Absolutely. Y'all might see me outside a little bit this weekend. I don't know. I got to take my kid to baseball practice. I think it's their first game this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I might be out Sunday, usual places watching the football games. But other than that, man, take it easy, man. Trying to figure out how I could get out the country more, which means I got to make more money, which means that we got to get it together here on the pods. We need y'all support.
Yeah, get some merch. We got some merch here. I'm about to put my nephew to work right after this pod because he got to make me some reels on the videos. The young kids know what's going on, man. So I say, yo, make some reels with the hats. Zoom in, do some cuts, transitions.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't think we got to pay him. Yeah. My sister might require some babysitting from us, but we ain't got to pay him. Anyway, man, with that, we're going to holler at y'all next time.
Holla at your boy.